Yashwant Sinha, former foreign minister, top BJP leader, joins me. Mr. Sinha, thank you for joining me on the News Hour. Mr. Sinha, what exactly is the BJP's position? Because the government insists that the BJP is not asking the government not to go ahead with the dialogue process in New York, whereas we have heard you say that you have problems with continuing a dialogue process unless Pakistan changes its position on the ground. So can you please clearly articulate what is the BJP's position on the summit that is likely to be held, or the summitry that is being planned in New York?
The BJP position is exactly what I stated in my press conference yesterday, that terror and talks cannot go together.
Right.
This has been our position since the days of Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee's prime ministership. And the party is fully with that statement that I made yesterday, and I don't know why there is any confusion with regard to that. We are not, and I repeat, we are not in favor of any talks with Pakistan at any level, much less at the level of the two prime ministers in September.
Well, the Prime Minister hasn't said a word on that. The Prime Minister has neither clarified his position, and all we get to know is, through some sources. Don't you think this is now becoming a very embarrassing situation, the Prime Minister's silence?
The Prime Minister's silence, Arnav, is most embarrassing and most distressing, not only because he has not spoken on whether he is going to meet Nawaz Sharif or not. It is most distressing because he has not even offered his condolences to the families of the dead soldiers. What can be worse than the Prime Minister of India has not even thought it fit to condole the death or the martyrdom of these 5 soldiers?
So don't you think both the current Foreign Minister, Mr. Khurshid, and the Prime Minister should be more forthcoming on the present incident? Because we are yet to hear from the Prime Minister. And Salman Khurshid has been very ambiguous on the subject. He says, whatever we feel is necessary in the national interest, those steps will be taken. Now that is a very general kind of comment, isn't it?
I entirely agree with you. The Prime Minister was present in Lok Sabha today when the leader of opposition, Mrs. Swaraj, raised the issue of the statements and the contradictions in the statements of the army and the defense minister. And we all asked the Prime Minister to clarify the situation. And he just sat there like a statue and did not respond.
Why are you planning to move a motion of privilege, a breach of privilege motion against the Defense Ministry? This is a news story. Times Now has been pursuing the flip-flop between the first press release and the second press release. But the government insists that you are reading it wrong. The Foreign Minister insists it is being read wrong. The Foreign Minister says that when latest information comes, you do revise statements, and these are evolving situations. Can you tell me what your bone of contention is on this subject?
Yes, I'll tell you. The statement by the army was issued before the defense minister made his statement in parliament.
That's true.
And what does the army statement say? Very clearly it says that the Indian army Jawans were ambushed by a Pak border action team. Border action team. And then they go on to say 20 heavily armed terrorists along with soldiers of the Pak army. Soldiers of the Pak army, not persons in Pak army uniform, as the defense minister said. Then they talk about the frustrations in the terrorist tanzeems,
yes,
and the Pak army, the frustration of the Pak army in the second paragraph as a result of the successful liquidation of some terrorists by India.
That's removed.
Now this statement, this is removed. The second part is removed. In the first part, the word Pak border action team is removed. Then along with soldiers of the Pak army is replaced by along with persons in Pak army uniform.
Yes. So wherever the references to Pakistan are there, or to the Pakistani army, or to the Pakistan government, they have been edited and taken off. Could this have been done innocently?
Right.
Could this
Now-
have been done without malafide? And at what level do you think, Yashwant Sinha, you've been Foreign Minister and Finance Minister of India, at what level do these changes happen when they happen, from your experience?
Let me remind you that yesterday, Mulayam Singh Yadav and I raised the issue of the killing of these 5 soldiers.
Yeah.
And we demanded a statement from the Defence Minister.
Yeah.
I demanded a statement from the Defence Minister.
Yeah.
And we were told that 3 o'clock in the afternoon, he'll make the statement. So government was not taken by surprise. It was not a instantaneous statement that he was required to make on the floor of the House. They had time from 11:30 onwards until 3 o'clock to consider the statement that they were making. My information is that the statement was cleared by the External Affairs Ministry and by the PMO and the PM himself.
No, one second.
And
One second. You are putting a
when the-
finger. You are alleging that the Prime Minister himself had a role in
Yes.
censoring
Yes.
the official statement,
Yes.
and you are saying the Prime Minister himself had a role in
I am-
therefore fabricating facts and the truth. Are you making that allegation?
I am saying that the Prime Minister, the PMO, the External Affairs Minister and the External Affairs Ministry all had a hand in telling the Defence Minister what statement he should make.
And on what basis do you
what
surmise
words
this,
he
sir?
should choose, and on the basis of my own information. You have sources of information at your end. I have my sources of information.
No, so there are two
and
times.
I know it for a fact.
Yeah, no, I
that
take
it
your.
went through the mill.
I take your point. I
It
know
went
that.
through the mill.
Yeah, I understand you. What you're saying is that you have your own sources. Now, so something in your view
Yes.
happened between 3:57 p.m. when the first release was issued, Yashwant Sinha, to the time Anthony made his
Yes.
statement on the floor of the House, because the second revised release was issued at 6:55 p.m., which means in the intervening period of almost 3 hours, somebody in the government made the change,
Yes.
right? And you are saying that you believe the PMO and the MEA all came together to make the change, that they softened the blow on Pakistan?
Right.
They tried to go soft on Pakistan? That's what you're saying?
They decided, yes, I am saying that they decided to change the words from the army's statement to the defense minister's statement in parliament, and then went on to force the army to change its earlier statement and issue a revised statement.
Now,
And clearly, the objective of this exercise was to let off Pakistan.
why would that be? Why would that be? The
create a
counter to that, Mr.
situation-
Sinha, would be that I think you saw Sonia
Yes.
Gandhi's statement, and yesterday you attacked the Congress party. You know, in your very aggressive presentation on the floor of the House and later in your press conference, you asked, is the Congress with India
Yes.
or Pakistan? They should come clear on it. But did you not see Sonia Gandhi's comment? Because Sonia Gandhi accused Pakistan of deceitful actions. She urged the government to do something to counter the situation. You believe that they are speaking different languages, or they are not communicating with each other, the government and the Congress?
No, if you watch the Congress party, this is a very typical Congress party tactics of running with the hare and hunting with the hound. So here you have the official statement of the government of India, which is very soft on Pakistan, and there you have an aggressive statement from Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. You know, so they are on both sides. You know, this is what they are trying to do in Telangana. This is what they have done on a number of other issues, that there is a good guy and there is a bad guy, and so they have both the worlds in their grip.
Digvijay Singh's response to you is something I want a last response to from you, Yashwant Sinha. Digvijay Singh, on your comment, says that when the BJP was in power, they have said different things. Digvijay Singh says Yashwant Sinha's comments lack substance, and he accuses you of politicizing these events by making provocative statements. Mr. Sinha, is he completely wrong? Because is he completely wrong?
I dismiss it with the contempt. I dismiss it with the contempt it deserves. You know, and if they are referring to the NDA regime, we can go back to 1947. with the partition of India and start from there.
No, but I must ask you a counter on the NDA regime, because at that point of time when you were in the cabinet, I had the pleasure of reporting on the government then. And I remember that between 2002 and 2003, Mr. Sinha, there was that diplomatic impasse with Pakistan. But you personally tried to reach out to Pakistan in late 2003, and you said at that time it is important to keep talking, despite Musharraf going to the extent of saying that India was playing dangerous games in Pakistan, Kashmir and Afghanistan. In April 2003, you were talking of preemptive strikes on Pakistan, but by August that year, your position had substantially changed. So, Mr. Sinha, my last question to you is, the pressure you put on Pakistan could only last that long. Could only last that long.
No, the pressure that we put on Pakistan through Operation Parakram resulted in the statement of 6 January 2004. And let me tell you, Arnab, that January 6, 2004 is one of the most important documents in the developing India-Pakistan relationship. We ended our regime by extracting a promise from General Musharraf that he will not allow his territory or territory under the control of Pakistan to be used for violence against India. And promptly after that we lost office, and promptly after that this government, the UPA government, went back on that statement that Musharraf commitment that Musharraf had made. Now even today, what is our stand? Our stand is hold Pakistan to the commitment that Musharraf had made as President of Pakistan on 6 January 2004, and that is why we are saying that unless Pakistan stops terror and violence against India, there should be no talks.
But
because this is what the joint statement said on January 6, 2004.
But can you have another Operation Parakram in 2013? Honestly, tell me, sir. Do you actually believe that two neighbors?
No, it's not a question of Operation Parakram. No. Who is suggesting that? And again, I'd like to make a point to you that we have any number of options between talks with Pakistan and war with Pakistan. We are not looking at that space, unfortunately. And in the media and elsewhere, the only thing which is going is as if you don't talk to Pakistan, next day we'll have a war with Pakistan. I don't buy that theory.
Well, I think there is, what you are saying is interesting. But thank you for clarifying, Yashwant Sinha, the clear and unambiguous position of the BJP that talks with Pakistan at a prime ministerial level is not something that the BJP is in favor of. So thank you very much. Good talking to you, Yashwant Sinha. Thanks for talking Times Now. Thank you, sir.